1908. We'll start out with committee reports. Sue Barron's going to give the Training and Education Committee report.
Terry and I just met a little while ago and we received 2 applications, renewal applications for 2 sponsorships, North Tonawanda and Niagara University, and I believe both guys are here representing their sponsorships. And everything looked in order. I handed in for East Shelby sponsorship, I handed in 3 course applications. And we discussed about having a CIC review class for CICs that need to recert and they have to take the test. And we discussed on if we could get a class near us, because I believe the last one was in near Albany Way. And we wanted to bring that up also. And I believe that is it.
Okay, the only thing I'll add to that is Andy Steele has returned and is going to grace us with his presence on a regular basis. Kelly Steele is going to take Chuck Hammond's spot for the Leroy Genesee County, and Andy's going to be an alternate. He'd also like to be added to the Training and Education Committee. If anybody has any objections. Okay. We'll move on to the Treasurer and Finance Committee report.
I put some papers over there, I don't know if everybody got one. Our account at Five Star is, we thought was totally done, but now they're saying that our ENN number is different from what they had, but we gave them a copy of the paper 2 weeks ago, but I'm gonna go get the ENN number taken care of and get all the paperwork from as far back as they'll give me on checks that were cashed and money where it is. Our balance right now is $188.09, and the only reason we have that is because John deposited $750 of his own money to cover checks that were outstanding on the account. So once we have all that paperwork, John and I will go through the computer and the statements, which we're finally getting, and figure out what's going on, and we'll have more information for you at the next meeting. But I will keep these guys informed as to what's going on. And like I said in the paper, sorry it's taking so long, but we've been going back and forth with this bank so much, and it's almost done. So, like I said, it was done. And Sean's working on the gateway. We can't do anything with the gateway now until we file taxes, because we've never filed a tax return. So we have to figure out how many years we have to go back, and if we're gonna get fined, we're gonna send letters saying that, you know, what this organization is, and to see if we won't get fined, but no gateway money until the taxes are sent in. So it's a mess. I've inherited a mess, and we're working on it the best we can. Any questions from anybody regarding finances? And thank you, John, for making the deposit.
Yes, thank you, John. Have to get that figured out.
On the gateway, you're on it and Wade's on it, right?
And Wade's on it.
And the proposal is to allow me to be on there also, so I can help get some of this stuff taken care of.
If nobody has any objections, absolutely. The more help, the better.
It kind of frustrates me. We turned in the paperwork twice, and we had everybody come and sign them the second time, and then they called me last week. I'm out mowing and say, oh, there's 2 different EIN numbers, although the form says from the Internal Revenue Service onto it. That's obviously the right one. But we'll also have to work on the taxes, which may be a bigger job than we want it to be.
The problem what is happening is we have a con coming in, we have no money to cover anything for that con.
That was paid.
That, and the check was given, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna speak for her, but my fire department treasurer is a state auditor for her full-time job. If you want, I can talk to her, see if she'd be willing to talk to you guys and try to help you straighten this out.
That would be the other side of wonderful.
Okay,
That's a wonderful with two pluses onto it.
okay. I'll get ahold of her tonight and, have her get a hold of Sean if, who'd be the best person to have her contact?
Either Cheryl or me,
We'll give her phone numbers afterwards.
Okay,
Thank you.
yep.
Yeah, hopefully we can get this matter all rectified, because, past history, Cole did, submit a check for $5,000. And that $5,000 is kind of lost in this whole quagmire. Do you have anything further, Cheryl?
We're
Do
good.
you have anything further?
No, once we get, the records, then we'll find out what happened to all the money. And we'll go from there. My suspicion is, I have no suspicions, let's put it that way. I don't think there's, anything, untoward going on, but something didn't get subtracted somewhere. So,
Think positive.
we did,
It'll be
yeah,
found.
well, we did pay, for Mercy's, for the stenographer, wasn't it? Yes. So that bill's all paid. The only outstanding bill right now is just a few bucks to Andy, which he is, saying, don't worry about until such time as we have more than adequate funds to pay him, so.
And the bill we owe to John Durand.
Well,
Right.
John will eventually get his, he's not too worried about it.
It's greatly appreciated. Anybody have any questions or comments for the folks on this committee?
Anybody wanna help?
Okay, we'll move on to the program agency report.
Okay, well, I want to start with introducing Rob McCartan, who is our new program director. He's been here a whole 8 days. Oh my God, he scares me. He's uber organized, and I'm not. So, yeah, I'm going to turn loose in my office and see what he can do to fix that, because he's doing a heck of a job in the other one. Scary organized. Okay, I don't hear, his phone is broken, so once it gets up, we'll give you his cell phone. It's the same as what Andy's was, so if you got that one, once his phone gets fixed, you'll be able to get hold of him too, but you can email him. It's on the bottom of the report. You guys can see the classes we've done. The only thing I put in here is an upcoming class for autism and emergency providers on 6/22. It's at the Fire Training Center, 7 to 9. The notice of approvals and notice of intents are all ones that were presented to REMAC last time. Those are all there for you to read. Okay, has everybody done their REMAC collaborative protocol updates?
And that's till July 1st.
Depending on.
So no,
So
I have not.
that means June 30th.
You and a lot of other people, it's all good.
Charlotte, a
Yes.
question on that. If some EMTs aren't completed, what happens?
Technically, they're supposed to be pulled offline per REMAC
Until when?
until they get it done. So my suggestion is, it really, for a basic, takes like an hour and a half max.
Oh,
to
not
do.
even.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, saying max. So there's really no reason when you've had the information for 2 months to not find an hour and a half where you could do it. The hard part, and I opened my office one time because we had people that had problems with internet connectivity. So I had them come to my office, I had computers set up all over the place and they were using them there. So that part was, if anybody else has a problem, let me know, we'll set you up, you can come on in. So that's the hard part. So a lot of agencies are waiting. I've actually gotten complete things from some agencies already, but a lot of agencies are waiting to get their skills and their updates all at one time, which is bonus for me because putting it in the database is a whole lot easier if I'm not going back and forth 20 times. The next REMAC meeting is June 21st at Twin City at 1 o'clock. Niagara County can probably speak to this a whole lot better than me, but they're still working on their countywide EPCR program. The biggest holdup for that is the NEMSIS compliant version 3. The state doesn't actually have the database yet. They don't have it yet. And once they get it, they'll be rolling it out to the vendors for them to look at to make sure they can meet the compliance before people go with them to the version 3. If they can't do it, then they may not be able to use it. There is, I know Andy presented on this last time, there's an EPCR pilot program for people who are paper now and want to go electronic. I do not understand everything about it. However, it's through Image Trend. There's actually some good things wrapped up in if you, because this guy got a whole lot more of the presentation than I did. Anybody can use it. It's web-based. It's nice because there's pros and cons to everything. For the first year, it's free. That's a bonus. Then it's based on the number of PCRs that you do the second year on what it'll cost. I think, and again, don't quote me on this, but if you do under 250 a year, it's like $250, which all things in is cheap. The nice thing about that one is that they are doing this and giving this opportunity because of a stroke grant that they have in the region, because they want better notification to the, better stroke alerts going to the hospitals. So what they're building into this is, it's almost like a compliance thing. You won't be able to shut the PCR down if you have a stroke, if you qualify for that, unless you answer the right questions, which helps the hospitals in the region as well to meet their requirements for their QA for that, because then they'll have the EMS component done. They have a rough time. We sat at a meeting yesterday and listened to the frustration with some of the hospitals, the stroke coordinators saying, it's great you guys are telling, you're not calling and saying possible stroke, potential stroke, something like that, because we've been told you don't diagnose, and that's a diagnosis. That's what we've been hearing from people, but you can, and they prefer you do that even if it's not comfortable for you to do. If you have somebody who's stroke-like symptoms, say possible stroke. Then they'll do the alert, and everything else will fall into place. They'd rather have you do that and have it be nothing than not do it and have it be a stroke, because it saves time. We have data and statistics. It's wonderful. But that would give you the ability to do that quickly. It's a nice, they're still working on the system, but it looks like it's going to be a fairly decent and hardy system. And if anybody is interested in doing that, you're more, give me a call, let me know, send an email to Rob or myself, and we'll get you on. We'll make a list of people who are interested in it, and at which point we will have either somebody come out and do a demonstration of it and give more information on it, somebody who knows what they're talking about. So we'll do something like that. Check and inject, people should know the pilot program is done. That was given to you guys last time. You got the email. Did you guys get the email about where you can get them from Boundtree for other kits just like what we had? If not, I have information up here for you. You don't need the special needles. You can use regular 1cc syringes. REMAC has given that blessing. And that's about all I have. Any questions?
Thank you. Okay, we'll get an update from the CON committee, but before we get their report, I received a letter that the Ambulance Western New York Incorporated is again looking to expand their non-emergency transport services into the county of Niagara with a BLS interfacility non-emergency transportation service. The letter is a little confusing. We're going to have to look into this and see what the process is now for them to initiate. Report from the CON committee.
Wasn't that the same one that we dealt with? The guy was from Clarence?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was, and you had checked with him?
He would-
Well, no, he sent that,
withdrew everything.
he sent the application,
Right.
we sent that out to the group. I don't know, what was it, maybe an hour or two later, they turned around and said, wait a minute, we don't wanna file this, we wanna put it on hold.
It was an,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, it was an ambulette service.
We weren't sure that because the initial application didn't really specify what they were doing. It had,
I thought I saw the word ambulette in there somewhere.
That was
went through.
from the
It was
state.
Wheelchair and
Yeah.
that
The
was, okay.
state was saying they believed
Okay.
that
I
they
knew
were
there was some
looking to do
literature
an
somewhere
ambulette.
where the word ambulette was. and
But the
that-
minute
that
they
has nothing
said,
to do with
we're putting it on hold, everybody just dropped it and said, okay, they're gonna refile it somehow, but we didn't believe if it's an ambulette, it won't come through us.
you would have to
Right.
refile it anyway now, because it's
Right.
over 6 months.
So,
Plus the owner was the chair and everything. There was no other chairs. It was the
Right.
owner. So
It
that's
was, he wrote a letter from himself, being the secretary, to the treasurer, which was himself,
yeah,
from the president,
Yeah.
which was all legal and he can do it. But he followed all the steps he had to do, because the state was like, no, that's fine, but they laughed at it as well, saying it looks funny.
Do they have
so
to
this is
resubmit
back
it?
on again now?
No, you would have to, you should
What's
have to
this letter?
resubmit.
Well,
Yeah,
it's over 6
we
months.
just got the letter again, but it's got the old dates on it, so.
You would have to resubmit.
Maybe this was just held up somewhere.
All he sent was the letter though, Wade?
Well, that's why I said it's kinda confusing, that we got it again, but it's got the old dates on it, so I'm gonna have to check into that and see what's
We
going
lost
on
the
with that.
retaining wall between the Presbyterian church and the parking lot next to Unito Burrito. Caller couldn't confirm that he was conscious or had any injuries.
Do you guys have anything else, any update on, anything else?
With Mercy, there is nothing, I haven't heard anything come back. I kinda asked the state and they're like, no, they're, got nothing back from the LJ, so it's still in that.
I'm hearing that the earliest was gonna be like mid-September, they're saying.
Yeah, it's just until we get anything, so there's no action on that one as of yet. COVA, we received electronically and the hard copies tonight of the originals for the updates that we had requested. I distributed the electronic version off to the group for review. I've gotten 2 responses back that they're complete, so we just have to get at least one more other than myself to deem it complete so we can pass it right off to the state. And the state's aware that we have it and they're looking forward to doing the fitness and competency, so then we can move forward in the process.
And I can't, who's the other person on the committee? Besides Rick and Andrew and you?
Rick, me, Andrew,
Oh, Kristen.
Kristen responded back, Andrew responded back, so, but if not, but it'll be done.
Thank you.
Wade, go back to Niagara County, what is happening with the services in Niagara County? They were, when we had the hearings and so forth, they were having an awful hard time getting calls answered. Is that still the issue?
Well, we can kinda jump ahead to the county reports. Can somebody from Niagara County give me any kinda, give John or this?
Status quo, we're still having trouble getting companies to respond. As for Mercy, we're running a paramedic and BLS ambulance from 9 to 9, and the paramedic ambulance 24/7 in the town of Niagara.
The town of Niagara is fairly well covered,
Town of Niagara's covered.
but the rest of them.
The problem is east of Lockport. They're calling out, because I was speaking with Jonathan about this as well, Jonathan Schultz. He's been tied up with all the high water levels
That's why he's
in
not
Niagara
here.
County. I'm sure that's why he's not here.
Yeah, I
But
talked.
they still have sometimes to tone out up to five companies to try and get one ambulance company to go. And that's really stinks.
Yes.
In Tri-Town's defense, that's not us anymore.
No, it's.
I'm just saying.
No, I just think, and when I mean, like, I was talking volunteer companies, and they're having a hard time getting,
Yeah, Miller Hose,
People
Wilson,
to-
Alfred, yes.
yeah, that's terrible for the people, you know?
County that size, you expect fairly good service.
Well, yes, I mean,
It's a shame that we can't do something to make this move along faster.
You can, it's in state's hands.
Would it be possible to send a letter of encouragement to the state?
Well, they know what our vote was.
Yeah, I
mean, we
understand that,
passed
but-
it.
You can't send anything new.
I would not,
You can't send anything new. Nothing.
we had the public meeting,
Yeah.
everything's out there. The decision was made, and now it's just,
Now it's politics.
it's following the state protocol, so.
I just have to wait for them to do their.
Hurry up and wait. And like Wade said, mid-September is what the chatter is, so.
Thanks, guys. Anybody from Genesee County have anything to bring up to the committee?
Meeting next week, other than that, no report.
Maybe an exciting weekend.
Then maybe.
Uh,
Every weekend's exciting in Genesee County.
yeah. Florida Georgia Line
Jay
is
is excited.
Friday night,
What are you talking
and
about?
Marty Stewart is Friday night at Foster.
I'm sure Wade's well aware of what he's expecting.
Yeah.
Florida Kings isn't open
Well, that's right,
24/7.
Florida Kings isn't a 24-hour operation.
There was one.
After Saturday, they close at 10, Monday
Yeah,
through
it's usually
Thursday. Friday, Saturday is 11.
Believe it. I don't like picking them up anymore than
Okay,
I
if,
like last.
Under new business and, well, it's kind of old business as well. Quite some time ago, letters of intent were sent to the state for the CMAC committee. Dr. Tackett is representing us on there, and the letters were sent out to have myself and Andrew Knoll also placed on there. That thing has been kind of very, very slow moving. And if I could, I'd like to have Dr. Tackett give us an update on anything that was at the last meeting out there.
Well, they had, the big issue was critical care and what's gonna happen to, critical care in the future, and obviously, I think the decisions that were made in terms of offering a last class and subsequent recertifications, is done and over with. The real question is how can there be a bridge, or how can something, be satisfactory to all parties that essentially is a bridge for existing CCs to become the paramedic level. And that's the big thorny thing. I think the best solution that was brought up was by Joe Bart. He and I were collaborating on a little bit, and that would be to have the paramedic test be available to any critical care provider, and if they passed, they became paramedics, and that'd be it. And that, if there was a failure and they decided they wanted to become, advanced EMTs, that'd be okay. If they wanted to challenge it at a subsequent juncture, that would be acceptable as well. However, that has not been, approved or disapproved at this particular point. I would like to have a little bit more communication with the leadership of Big Lake Zone, because I'm not getting any communication at all that I can on my email side. So if you'd be kind enough to,
I'll have to check your address, because
okay, I put it on the thing tonight too.
Because I've been sending it. It seems to go.
Yeah, I don't know
okay,
where the
doesn't
hell
get
it's
kicked
going.
back.
In cyberspace or something like that. But anyway, that's about it for the time being. There's, a big party was given by one of the members of the CMAC. Everything moves like a snail at CMAC. I mean, most of the individuals love the sound of their own voices, and not too much gets accomplished. It's unfortunate, but that's the nature of the beast.
Well, thank you.
Any questions?
Now that bridge for the CCs to go to the paramedic, does that seem to be the general consensus of the REMAC as well?
Well, what happened was that there wasn't a quorum, and it was like, it was a disaster, because we had a quorum, but the meeting kind of dragged on, and one of the voting members left, and then we didn't have a quorum.
That was at the REMAC, Doc?
That was a CMAC. That was a CMAC. And all.
Is that the tag committee of the CMAC? Because I know there was a tag working on it.
There was a tag working on it, but this was stuff that was to be brought to a vote, and it could have been brought to a vote at the CMAC, but because the quorum disappeared, everything was put on hold. I mean, it was a total waste of a meeting, unfortunately.
So,
got some more.
the tag is actually brought forth by the SEMSCO. So the SEMSCO
The next day, right.
reported to the CMAC on the findings, it was presented there. Technically, the CMAC doesn't have to vote on that tag because it's brought forward by the SEMSCO, and the CMAC is a body to the SEMSCO. So what they did is was voted on at the SEMSCO, and I can't remember off the top of my head, I'd have to go back and look in the email, but they basically, they set a couple dates, they didn't set any dates, but they said a couple things they're gonna do. One of them potentially being a bridge, but that is gonna be 2 to 3 years down the road because somebody has to write that program. So depending on who's gonna write that program, I think the only thing that they set in stone, and John, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're on the email as well, is that after January 1st of 2018, there's gonna be no new CC classes.
Correct, that's correct.
Approved classes. So any CC classes that are now are still gonna be enforced. But nothing, so there can still be a CC class in 2018, but no new classes approved after January 1st of 2018 was the big thing. And regionally, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a sunset date of anywhere between 6 and 10 years before CCs no longer are providers in the region.
Thank you.
Is there anything else, John, from that?
Nothing's cast in stone. And that's probably the truest statement you've heard tonight.
Come on.
I don't think we have anybody from DOH here tonight, so we won't get a report from them. Does anybody have anything else to bring up under new business? I think we covered old business.
Wait, one thing, Kristen, at one of the previous meetings, talked about the agreement pending agreement between Children's and ECMC as far as pediatric trauma. I was at a meeting today with Malachi Fisher, and he said that it has been agreed on by both facilities, you know, written in stone to come down the line, but the way that they've agreed to it is 15th birthday and up ECMC will take, and Children's will take anybody up to their 19th birthday. So you'll have a 4-year slush period in there where both facilities would
So
take
they
the patient.
definitely finally absolutely agreed on that?
In theory, yes, but it's not in writing yet.
Because I know that got.
ECMC's been okay with it. I flew a 15-year-old in there the other day.
Right.
But I do know somebody got turned away with an 18-year-old female from Children's.
Did they, okay.
Maybe there'll be more coming up at the REMAC. I know that was a topic. I talked about the tuitions a little bit on the transfer.
Yeah,
It's a hot topic,
Yeah,
so.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Children's also doesn't have a adult provider on there.
Correct, that email
Yeah,
did
I
go out.
think that was the reason.
Yeah, okay.
Anybody have anything else?
I got some stuff. I'm working with Dr. Cushman out of Rochester. I'm on the executive committee with him for Greater Rochester Mission Lifeline STEMI. It's an outreach for STEMI care. There's actually like a dinner and type of just kicking off of the project, and that is this coming Monday if anybody is interested. I have all the registration information here for you guys. I got like 10 copies in that. It's free. Definitely pass around. I got a hold of a lot of the doctors and that, so it's just what's the best way of doing STEM care in this region. Due to the fact of Medina, you probably take a lot of people to Strong and stuff like that, so they want physicians, EMS providers, anybody who's key players to get involved into it.
What kind of dinner is it?
It's at the Woodcliff Hotel. It's not Pizza Lane.
Cardiology center.
But yeah, I got that information here if anybody's interested in. It's free.
Anything else? I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I object to that. The course sponsorships, who's gonna sign those tonight?
Oh,
Well, that will be.
Okay, so a motion to approve them.
Okay,
I'll make the motion to approve all the course sponsorships tonight.
second.
I'll second.
Sean Brown? Any opposed? So carried.
And Sean, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to adjourn too.
Now we can.
I'll second that.
Yeah, second.
Are you signing, Wayne?
Yes. The meeting is adjourned at 1:37.